The aim of our skills training project is for the progression of skills for a basketball shot with the use of motor learning principles. Presented feedback is external information and can be during, concurrent, or after terminal. We use terminal feedback as a basketball shot is a short movement that would be complicated by giving concurrent feedback. Knowledge of performance gives information to the learner about certain characteristics of the skill, whereas knowledge of results is information about the outcome. It informs the learner and also has a role in motivation. It is important that the feedback be given on a more regular basis at the beginning of the learning than later on. This decreases the dependence on the type of feedback. A basketball shot is a skill in high complexity and low organisation. This means that part practice is a more appropriate method of teaching. This means that the skill is broken down into parts in order for the learner to learn each portion correctly before completing the skill as a whole. TALS taxonomy is an assessment tool used to classify skills. It allows us to select appropriate training tools to apply in our skills training program. We have classified our skill as 2C. Environmentally, the skill is closed, but at the same time, it also has intertrial variability. Both the body and the object is in motion for this skill. There has also been no object manipulation. A basketball shot is a closed skill, as there isn't a lot of intertrial variability in the conditions. A basketball shot is usually completed inside, and the hoop is always the same. Blocked practice would be most useful method. Distributed practice is useful for beginners as it keeps them motivated and keeps attention. Testing is used as a measure of skill progression. We have conducted both pre- and post-testing, gathering qualitative and quantitative data. The qualitative results were gathered by watching the beginner perform the skill, assessing it by sight, and allocating it a score out of 5. Quantitative data was taken by measuring the amount of successful basketball shots scored out of 10 from 5 different locations around the key. From the initial testing results, qualitative by sight, we evaluated our beginner a 3 out of 5. The other quantitative results are shown on the screen. These are the points at which the shots were taken on the key. We identified 5 key points of our basketball shooting skill: stance, hand position, aiming, upward force and follow through, and game pressure. For correct stance, it has been recommended at beginner level to stand with your feet roughly shoulder width apart. This creates a stable centre of balance. To teach and correct proper stance, we have used a number of different drills. The first thing in hand position is to understand that only one hand is actually used to push the ball. It is common error for beginners to use both the guiding hand and the pushing hand to shoot. The pushing hand almost acts as a platform for the ball before forcing it into the air. The guiding hand is there to ensure the ball has support when leaving the hands. Fingers should be spread and fingertips should be used to push the ball into the air rather than the palms. Naturally, aiming is an important aspect of shooting a basketball successfully. We have found that aiming the ball for the front of the rim is the most accurate way to shoot from a standing shot. force is all to do with the power in the legs, arms, wrist and fingers and transferring it into the ball. The follow-through is important in the backwards rotation of the ball. Fingers should be pointing toward the hoop, wrist bent forward and palms down. This is commonly referred to as reaching into the cookie jar and allows for a greater visual representation for the player. Ultimately, the goal of accurately shooting a basketball is to be able to put the skill into a game setting. We have incorporated running and catching into our skill training program with the previous key points. By making the running and catching more difficult and also adding defenders, this works to adjust the player to natural game conditions. We conducted the same qualitative and quantitative tests post-program as pre-program to allow comparison between the two. In this case, we can see an improvement in all areas. Transfer testing is used to observe any changes in results when the skill is applied to a game setting. The learner was required to receive a pass and shoot past the pressure of a defender. The recall test is conducted 48 hours after the training program has been completed and is designed to test how permanent the learning has been.